This is a SEAT Arona and it is basically an air fryer. Now stay with us, we've not lost it. Air fryers at the moment are the must-have kitchen gadget and there's about 1 million of them, so it's very difficult to choose which one is best. Rather much like small SUVs. And life can be tricky for cars like this because there's so many of them. The formula for success is to add a bit of extra ride height and some chunky styling bits to an existing Super Mini, in this case a Seat Ibiza, but all the car makers know that. So there are so many rivals and you'll find them on the Motorpoint website. In fact, this is a good time to encourage you to like and subscribe, hit the bell icon on so that you catch all of our latest videos. But back to the Arona's rivals, because some of them are pretty good. The Renault Captur we tested not so long ago, the impressive but slightly dull Skoda Kamiq, or the wackily styled Nissan Juke. There's also the small matter of the Ford Puma, which was not only the best-selling car in the UK in 2023, but also happens to be rather brilliant, especially when it comes to driving dynamics. What chance then does the SEAT Arona have against such competition? Well, it's smartly styled, if somewhat conservative. It sits somewhere in between the rather dull Skoda Kamiq and the unnecessarily wacky Nissan Juke. It's also decent value as a new car. This would have been cheaper than both a Skoda Kamiq and a Ford Puma. Power comes from a choice of 1 litre petrol engines with between 95 and 115 horsepower. There's also a 1.5 litre with 150 horsepower and, which is quite rare and even more rare, is a 1.6 litre diesel. Now, in terms of gearboxes, the 95 horsepower comes with a 5-speed manual. The 110 and 115 horsepower comes with a 6-speed manual or a 7-speed automatic, and the 1.5 is auto only. We should note too that in mid-2021 the Arona was given a design refresh to help mix it with more modern rivals. It got an updated interior with plusher fabrics and a more modern infotainment system, as well as some minor exterior design tweaks. As a 2019 model, this car doesn't get any of that, but as we'll see, being a pre-facelift car, it still has a lot going for it. In this, we see that we have plenty of space. For starters, there's plenty of leg, elbow and headroom, which is impressive considering the compact base that it sits on. There are also plenty of gadgets to play with. Auto headlights, air conditioning and cruise control are standard on all cars, for example, as is touchscreen infotainment system with Apple CarPlay and Android Auto integration. This is a mid-spec car, which means you get Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, air conditioning and wireless phone charging. If you go for the top spec Excellence Luxe model, then you will get all-round parking sensors, adaptive cruise control, digital driver's display, heated seats and a park assist system. Yet despite all the gadgets and space, it doesn't feel all that upmarket in here. Plenty of rivals do a better job on that score. That being said, if you don't spend your days indulging in the motoring journalist's obsession with prodding dashboard materials, then it probably won't bother you. And in actual fact, it feels robust and built to last. But if those hard, scratchy plastics really do concern you and you can stretch to a 2021 facelift car, then it does feel a lot posher. Back here, there's lots of legroom and headroom, even for those taller than 5'4.5" me. There's more space back here than a Ford Puma and not as much as a Skoda Kamiq. What is a bit of an issue is that 3 rear seat passengers will feel a little bit squeezed. But then that's true of the vast majority of Super Mini based SUVs. If you're going to put 3 people back here on a regular basis, then you might want to think about a slightly larger type of car, such as the Nissan Qashqai. In terms of boot space, you get 400 litres. I think that's big enough for me to get inside. Yes, it is. And in actual fact, it's a little bit more space than you get in a family hatchback, such as a Ford Focus or a Volkswagen Golf. Thumbs up. The Renault Captur and Ford Puma offer even more space back there. Talking of Ford Pumas, they are our favourite small SUV to drive. Question is, how does the Arona compare? There's only one way to find out. Let's take it for a drive. The first thing to note is if you can find a 150 horsepower 1.5 litre 4-cylinder version, go for it. This engine is in a wide variety of cars from the Volkswagen Group, that's SEAT's parent company, and we love it. It always impresses us with its smooth power delivery, muscular performance and fuel efficiency. This car sadly does not have that engine. Instead, it gets the 1-litre 3-cylinder turbocharged petrol engine, and that's by far the most common choice for the Arona. This one has 115 horsepower and it's willing enough, but the 1-litre EcoBoost in the Ford Puma is marginally more peppy. When it comes to handling, the Arona feels stable and confidence-inspiring. In short, it feels a lot more grown up than its size would suggest. Okay, it's not going to give you the same level of smiles and thrills as a Ford Puma will on winding, twisty roads, but it is still one of the best in its class. Of course, driving fun is unfortunately not something we get to indulge in all the time, so actually how a car performs on a motorway slog or a traffic-heavy commute is probably more important. And here the Arona performs well. It's quiet, refined, and you can easily hold a hushed conversation at motorway speeds. You'll get close to 50 miles per gallon economy too. What do we think of the SEAT Arona then, and does it stand out in a crowded marketplace? Well, yes, it does. It may not be the most upmarket SUV around, nor the most boldly styled. However, it is one of the best to drive, Ford Puma accepted. It's spacious, comfortable, and feels bigger than it is, which is quite a trick to pull off. And if all of that floats your boat, then it could be the car for you. Head to the Motorpoint website and book yourself a test drive and see what you think.